I was able to watch the Disney live-action remake of The Little Mermaid. So was this remake any good? Well, here's my review on it. And for starters, I thought this was an amazing remake. It's one of the good Disney live-action remakes. It's like every song is phenomenal. Well, almost every song. We'll get to that in a second, but this was a really good live-action remake. I felt like it almost captured all the heart that the original did, and like changed some things up to fix the original film. With that being said, let's talk about everything that I liked about this movie. And for starters, every song that played, once the song ended, I just felt like clapping after every song because they sounded so good. Halle does a good job at playing Ariel. She fits the role so perfectly that it's like she's basically copy and paste from the original film. She like is an exact copy of Ariel from the original film. She fits perfectly. And then with Flounder, Sebastian, Scuttle, those voice actings were also phenomenal. They were like almost as good as Ariel, but they were still really good. And again, they basically fit the roles so perfectly. And then another thing, this movie expands upon Eric. The animated movie, you don't really know that much about Eric, and they didn't really expand upon him. But this movie expanded on him so much. You actually feel the romance between Ariel and Eric because of how much Eric was expanded. You know everything about him, you know his issues, you know his hobby. Eric is like a way better character now. And then speaking of their romance, Ariel and Eric's romance, you can feel it. It feels real in this movie. Unlike the animated movie where they just fall in love because they just think they're pretty and sound good. This one actually has that connectionness between both of them to have them fall in love and get married. And then Ursula, they make a change with Ursula. The thing that she makes with Ariel. They have Ursula do this thing. I don't want to spoil it, but they have her do this thing that changes it entirely. And I really enjoyed that twist to it. It made it feel different and more like an evil villain. The animated version, again, if you didn't watch my review for the animated movie, I said that Ursula is a really good villain. And this movie is basically around that. It's not as good, but Ursula is still a good villain. There's some things that she does that I wish the animated movie did as well to make it come more to life. But this movie did do a good job with Ursula as well. She was a well-written villain again. And the new songs that they added into this movie, the reviews say they do not fit at all. They were all wonderful. They fit the movie perfectly. And then the rap at the end was like, it was out of place, but it was hilarious to watch. Like, it was really fun to listen to, and I want to listen to it again. It was really catchy. Another thing that I liked about this movie, they expanded upon the lore just a little bit in this movie. Like, stuff about Ariel's mom, which I'm not going to say it, but it made this movie come more to life, and it expanded upon the King Triton character. But anyways, this movie's not perfect, so let's go on to everything I didn't like about this movie. And for starters, speaking of King Triton, the actor, I feel like, did not do a good job. He kind of just had this calm voice to him the entire film. And I wasn't convinced that he was King Triton. Like the part where he has to destroy Ariel's little collection. Little collection is like a huge collection, but the part where he had to destroy her collection, he didn't sound mad at her. he just had like this calm voice to him, this calm tone. And I wasn't convinced. He did not sound like a King Triton. The one in the animated movie is way better. Another bad thing about this movie, a lot of people are saying the underwater scenes do not look real. I mean, like, they're comparing it to Avatar: The Way of Water, which is not a fair comparison. But there is a couple of shots where it does not look real at all. And it's just obviously green screen and CGI. Ariel looks fake in those scenes. And then, speaking of the underwater scenes, the beginning of the movie till like before Poor Unfortunate Souls, it's not the best. That's when this movie is okay. The pacing is terrible at that moment. And when I was watching that, I was like, this is gonna be a long movie. But it did get better after Poor Unfortunate Souls. That's when after Poor Unfortunate Souls is the peak of this movie. Everything after that. But everything before that, it's just bad pacing and didn't fit. Speaking of the pacing, this movie is 2 hours and 15 minutes. And like around 55 minutes longer than the original film. They could have shortened the ocean scenes. Like I was just complaining about. It's not the best part of the movie. So, I feel like they could have just cut the movie down by 10 minutes. And then this movie will be near perfection. Just like the animated classic. And this movie does not have the same heart to it as the animated classic. Which makes the animated movie better. Because it just has that heart and feel to it that makes it stand out. But this movie just doesn't have that same magic to it. Basically, this movie just has the same problems as every other live action remake. And then, I said I liked most of the songs. The one song that I did not like in this movie was Under the Sea. Every other song in this movie was fantastic. It's just Under the Sea in this movie, I did not like it. The way it was sung with Ariel and Sebastian is like kind of combining with each other. It did not sound good. And the way Sebastian just sung this song is not the same feel to it as the original film. And the original film is sung in such a classic way that you can't really top that. So when I listen to Under the Sea in this movie, it just doesn't sound right and it makes me not like it because it just doesn't have the same kick to it as the original movie did. But overall, The Little Mermaid 2023 was a really good live action remake. Yes, it has its problems like the pacing at the beginning and like Under the Sea and some of the actors, but overall, it is a really good live action remake. All the songs are like fantastic. And like every actor is played amazingly. And this movie adds stuff in that expands on the lore and makes you actually care about the romance between Ariel and Eric and makes it come more to life. So overall, I do recommend this movie. Watch it in theaters. Don't be one of those people who just say it's a bad movie, but then you never even actually seen it. You just don't like the Disney live actions. Give this one a chance, and out of 10, I give it an 8 out of 10. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys all next time. Goodbye.